Good, good morning, everyone. This is Martin speaking here. Welcome to the breakfast show, Money Talk with SmartRobie. As you can see in the background of the great first presidential debate between the incumbent president Donald Trump versus Joe Biden, and also Chris Wallace being the moderator. And it was really enjoyable to see first time Donald Trump kena hammer by President Biden. Now, this is also partly because President Biden or Vice President Biden was more equipped, more well prepared, whereas Donald Trump is shooting from the hip. So you can see during this presidential debate where you can see the two different sides. One is well prepared and another one not well prepared. And the same thing we always go to the stock market too. So one of the key things that we do in the breakfast show is to prepare you for the market by knowing all the news. And this is why SmartRobie, and those of you who are listening for the first time, do type 1. This is what we want to make out of it. But again, very important is to get the key lessons from the breakfast show. Now let's move on to our first story of the day. Is no other than rubber glove. That's right. Now rubber glove has become a very important commodities to the export in here. You can see rubber glove overall since January contributing almost 23.3 billion, whereas the palm oil is 31 billion. So it's really catching up, and that's going to be very good for our country in terms of taxation, more revenue for the country as another source of income to replace the outgoing oil and gas. And you all know that Malaysia being a net exporter of crude oil, but eventually in a few years time we're going to become a net importer. So that's very good news. They're definitely in so the news also carry that the export of the rubber glove has surged 3.74% year on year compared to last year. So there's a big surge in there, and you can see one of the biggest surge started sometime in April or May from the charts that you see here. All right, this is the chart that you see in here. So this is what's actually happening in here. So let's move on to our next story. Now the next story talks about the higher trade surplus. No doubt the higher trade surplus has increased due to the opening of the economy after the COVID. But all in all, what really fell was the August export figure fell 2.9% to 79.1 billion as of that. And in June and July was 8.8 and 3.1. So we actually fell 2.9% into 79. But overall, we still registered a higher trade surplus. That's right. So that's really does tell us if our exports are getting less, which means ringgit will act not in favor of us. Do take note that one in here. But we will continue to monitor the monthly export. But also one thing I do notice is the usually coming to year end, the export figure generally fell, even the last year too. But I'm not too sure about the 2018. All right. So overall, we still have a trade surplus of 19.7. Let's move on to the next story. Now, next story talks about what we are seeing currently at the market. Now, let's take a look at the market now, the KLSE market. Now, this morning, it is still up only 3 points, up 3 points, down 11 points, up 7 points, down 5 points. So we are really struggling to hold at this tapered. Let me just show you from a chart wise, 1500. But one thing good about it, no doubt, definitely we are already in the blue trend zone, but just holding up at 1500 in here. I think we should be able to hold it because another news that actually came out is SE and Bursa are extending the temporary margin financing flexibility to December 13. That simply tells you people do not need to cut loss, so just kind of hold on and try to wait it out for the storm to pass by, and hopefully year end there's some sort of addressing and probably sell along that one. So that's going to be the trend that we see likely now from September to year end, a sideways moving, maybe a just uptick to just 1550, perhaps then just coming back down in here. So that's going to be a lot of uncertainty in here. So sideways movement are expected, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let's move on to our next story in here. Now, next story also talk about Aeon Credit, which is the retailer. Now, during the MCO, most retailer will close, and then finally we do have this thing open. But again, the net profit up 5.46% year on year was up to about almost 52 million ending 31st August were due to lower impairment losses. Basically, they're spending less because they're not opening up, and yet these net profit are generally temporarily. But if you look at Aeon credits, let's look at Aeon credits here. Having said that, right, the chart has gone up a fair bit. Maybe it's time to take some profit in here. All right, so let's see here. So you can see from a chart wise, let me just bring up the chart for you in here, Aeon credit, and this is what it means. You can see right now, right, the chart has moved up almost $9 to $10.80. This, with the upthrust and the climatic volume, this usually means we will take profit. So it's time to take some profit for Aeon credit. So that's why it's good to know VSA, so you can watch it too. All right, let's move on to our next story, which is the My News, which is a convenience store. You can see it all over the place in Malaysia, in here, almost every building in here. They are affected by the MCO, where they post a losses due to the closing of the outlet, and only post $6 million losses compared to 7.45 million earlier. Revenue also lost. Because last year they make 7 million, this year they lost 6 million. Revenue also fell 16.4% to 110 million from 131 million. So you can see a lot of the retailer are really struggling for that one. Move on to next story in here. Now HaiO, also another MLM retailer, they have rose 32% their net profit due to the sales MLM. I suppose during that time more people taking up part-time job as MLM sales agent in here, and profit rose 32% to 10.26 million from 7.7 million ago. So that's finally turning green. Let's look at HaiO chart here, okay, and we also look at the fundamentals too. So you can see HaiO finally turning green pentagon after coming down from almost $1.90, now about 175 in here. And let's see what does the fundamental has to say about this stock here altogether. Stock fundamentals, right? You can see it is only rated 1. Okay, ROE is only 10%, but it does pay a 3% dividend in here. Its overvalue, its intrinsic value is only 125 cents in here compared to the closing price of 180. So it's overvalue. So it's more of a trade rather than a long-term buy for that one. All right, so just take note of that. Let's move on to our next story that we have here. Is no other than the US market. Let's focus on the US market. Now, having said that, US market has been one of the side focus that we have in our breakfast show. Simply saying, a lot of our tech stocks and news that is really driving the market is coming up for you, but also for our members and reader, there would be a likely case if there is a chance that our market doesn't do very well. That's where we want to update you with the US. So from the US market, Barron's report why the V-shaped recovery is still on track in here. Okay, so it also says that the economists at Yardine of the Yardine research do call for a growth for the fourth quarter US to a 10%. So that's looking very positive. So all in all, I do believe US will continue to move higher ground on here. But the question is whether can they break higher or not to the old high touching Dow Jones of 30,000. What we will come to you with that news should we get there. All right. And let's go on to our news for today. And any discovery news, let's go back to the main menu. We hit the KLSE news. And you can see, oh, Serbadk Dynamic, that's right, Serbadk Dynamic 5279. That is actually taking some good news, I think, because they are looking into technology sector in here. Again, this does look like a good range to buy. Sideways market, you can see, right? Let me just bring up the chart here. You can see this is good. This is usually what we call signs of accumulation. And let's look at the dividend, right? And if the dividend is good, this is something for our longer term buy. Yes, it is rated 7 out of 8, right? And it pays a 3.4%. I mean, compared to Aeon or HaiO, this will be a better pick. And also, they are going into technology. Something that you want to take. Serbadk Dynamic is something good for all of you in here. All right, so this is how we pick it from our news. Let's move on to our next segment. All right. It's MCE, that's right. Now on the episode 53 on the 18th of September, we picked MCE Holdings. I'm sure there's some good news, and the stock has since shot up 28.6%. Good one on that one. Of course, not every stocks that goes up. You can also check out the MCEHldg on your SmartRobie and look at the chart when it first came out in there. Now, let's go on and look the next stock pick that we have for you in here. Now, the next stock pick we have for you is MESB. All right, that one came out on the episode 56, which is 9:30 today. And the last pick that we have on last Wednesday, okay, 23rd of September, episode 55 was AdvanceCon, but it's still down 6%. Usually we do get those kind of things there. Look at the stop loss and the profit taking for AdvanceCon if the stocks go against you in here. So let's look at MESB for our sake here, MESB, and take out the chart here. Look at the stock price. Okay, and this is a nice one. You can see it is looking to take out the uptrust, slowly moving up to 30 cents. So MESB is certainly our stock pick for episode 56 today. We will come back and review on Friday. All right. Okay, so don't forget, this weekend will be our masterclass. For those of you who are coming, we have some of you flying over from Sarawak. Luckily, Sarawak is not Sabah in here. Do take note, we are still observing the SOP as we meet on this weekend. So I want to see you guys on the weekend together with our coaches. We'll be on October 5th and 6th. Okay. Okay, and also the talk that I'm supposed to do tonight, I have to make an announcement because tonight there's something that turned up due to some unforeseen circumstances. I will have to reschedule to the 14th of October, 2 more weeks from now. All right, so take note, the evening, Wednesday night, the tumbling of the House of Cards, Governor of today, opportunity in the political link counter in KLSE, I would have to reschedule to the 14th of October. My apologies to all of you in here. All right. So get a copy of SmartRobie. If you have not done so, download SmartRobie from the Google and Apple Play Store. And that's all I have for you today. And those of you who are listening for the first time, do join our Telegram for our free stock chart and stock information that we have for you. So today, we have only one stock pick, which is MESB for that one. So good day and have a good working environment and stay calm and continue to follow us from our Facebook.SmartRobie, and I'll see you on Friday. Thank you for watching.